your eyes now, but I know there's always a way. From sunrise till dawn, I'll be here waiting. From sunrise till dawn, I'll never stop. I'll fix you up, make everything much smoother again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. The connections might be tangled, the power source has lost its spark, but every wire tells a story, and I can mend what's torn apart. From sunrise till dawn, I'll be here waiting. From sunrise till dawn, I'll never stop. I'll fix you up, make everything run smooth again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. When the current isn't flowing, when the signals disappear, I'll be here with tools and patience, make the static crystal clear. Every cable, every circuit, every problem that you bring, I'll restore what time has broken, make the whole world sing. So don't you worry about tomorrow, don't you stress about today. I've got maintenance for your troubles, and I'll chase them all away. I'll fix you up, make everything run smooth again. I'll fix you up, from sunrise till dawn, my friend. I'll fix you up, with these hands and heart so true. I'll fix you up, Daniel, I'll fix you up. Hey, Daniel, everything's good as new. Hey, Daniel, I'll fix you up for you.
Well, welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, which means it's Judge Middleton's courtroom. Oh, I like this guy. He's one of my favorite judges. He's a judge that doesn't play around. So, it's just like Judge Simpson and all these different judges, they don't play. Even Judge Webster doesn't play. So let's get started. Shall we? And make this bigger.
Yes.
I was pulled over for swerving to miss a turtle in the road.
Amanda Sue Heimbaugh, here with counsel from the Hutchins Law Office.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Nice to meet you. Could you put your appearance on the record?
Sure, Your Honor. I'm Zoe Hutchins on behalf of Amanda Heimbaugh, who's present and standing to my left.
You're from Pawpaw?
Originally, my office just moved to Kalamazoo.
All right. Are you Amanda Sue Heimbaugh?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can plan every step.
Well, the Heimbaugh name is a very old St. Joseph County name. Heimbaugh Road is named after the Heimbaugh family. It is the shortest point between M60 and 131. So semis like to drive down there. The Heimbaugh home, which was a fine home in its day, was a brick, very nice house that fell into dilapidation. Henry Heimbaugh was the last member of that family, and he lived into his 90s. And the house was in terrible disrepair. He died, and they tore the house down, and now it's just a flat farm field. But probably told you more than you want to know about the Heimbaugh family. But and it's spelled two different ways. In St. Joe County, it's spelled this way. And sometimes they spell it another way. Anyway, Miss Heimbaugh, let's talk about your case. I saw you check in with Mr. Reed. This is charged as a second offense, so it's a 1-year misdemeanor charged under state statute. And he doesn't have jurisdiction over those. That isn't to say that something could be worked out where it could turn into a city offense. But right now it's a misdemeanor charged by up to a year in jail. I'm trying to find your case. And a fine of up to $1,000. Requires that you be fingerprinted.
She was.
Sometimes it's me, and sometimes the case isn't in here. This case isn't in here. I should have caught that earlier. No, I'm not crazy. It's not in my queue. Well, I might be crazy, but I'm not crazy for that reason. It isn't in my queue. 24-851. All right, this is another one like the last one that happened some time ago, and then it took a while to get arrested and get here. I'm sure you're going to plead not guilty and we're going to set a pretrial, but let me tell you what the allegation is. It's alleged that between November 1st of 23 and March 31st of 24, that you did alter, remove, transfer, replace, or conceal, otherwise misrepresent the price at which property was for sale. More than $200, but less than $1,000. The allegation is you took $233.31 worth of stuff. Now, this is a wide range. They tracked your card. They call it skip scanning, and I don't like the whole thing. If they had real live cashiers, this wouldn't even be a thing, but they allege that on 6 occasions you skip scanned items, and they didn't catch you until the 7th incident, which was caught live. Heimbaugh fails to scan items, or she'll put 2 items together and scan them as one. All 7 incidents of the theft total $233.31. Walmart has video footage of each incident downloaded and available. Walmart employees say Heimbaugh's husband is also observing failing to pay for items, but I don't see that he got charged with anything. Anyway, those are the allegations. There's allegedly video of this. and reports. And certainly your lawyer is going to want to get access to all that and review it. So, Ms. Hutchins, at this point, she just wishes to plead not guilty.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
And I believe she already posted $100 interim bond.
That's what it looks like. How did you get arrested on this?
I was pulled over for swerving to miss a turtle in the road.
Was it on Heimbach Road?
No, Your Honor.
What road was it on?
Sevison Road on the way to Shipshewana, Your Honor.
All right. Plead not guilty. Set an attorney pretrial for October 5th would be when we would do that. That's a Friday, the first Friday in October at 8:30. Would that work for you?
That will.
In the Win with Zins sweepstakes, you can get a chance to win $100,000. But there's more than one way to win.
What's your P number?
P70717.
And I'll ask you to file an appearance. As I indicated, Mr. Reed doesn't have authority over this. The county prosecutor does. There's apparently 7 video episodes and perhaps other stuff. You'll want to get access to that.
I believe we've already filed an appearance.
All right. It hasn't made it to the file yet, but yes, it does. Hutchins Law. It's here. All right. What I would suggest is at least touch base with the prosecutor's office, get access to the reports, and your bond is continued.
Thank you.
Did you go to jail for this, or they let you post bond on the side of the road?
I had to go to the jail to post bond, Your Honor,
Did you spend the night, or you posted it right away?
right away, Your Honor.
Well, if I got pulled over and I had $100 bond, I'd have to stay in jail because I usually have about $6 in my wallet. So maybe I should put 100 in there. At any rate, I've showed you pled not guilty. Your lawyer will get the police reports, discuss this matter with the prosecutor. We'll discuss it further at a pretrial conference on Friday morning, October 5th. That's kind of a free-for-all a little bit. We may set 30 or 50 cases all at the same time. The lawyers meet back in the back with the prosecutor and the magistrate in the jury room.
Okay.
So anything you can do ahead of time, discussing the case with the prosecutor, make your life easier.
Okay.
But you're good to go. They'll send you that notice, and you might touch base with the prosecutor to get
I
your.
was planning on touching base this morning.
All right, very good. Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you. I'll probably see you again.
Yeah. Have a great day.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you'd like to
All right, this is an unscheduled hearing in the matters of Colin Township versus Alfred E. Yoder and Joanna Ann Yoder. You're Alfred E. Yoder and you're Joanna Ann Yoder. Joanne Yoder, correct? Joann, Joanne Yoder. Also present is Lance Thornton, the Colin Township attorney. As a bit of background, this matter was part and parcel of two files. File 25040CZ was a zoning violation case in front of Judge Stutzman in the circuit court. Judge Stutzman had made a ruling in that case and I believe entered a default judgment. I described these matters more carefully on Friday, but I didn't give the same level of preparation here today. Judge Stutzman scheduled a hearing, I believe in July, that the defendants failed to appear for. He did an order to show cause to find why the defendants should not be found in contempt for failing to appear for the hearing. They failed to appear for the order to show cause, and Judge Stutzman entered bench warrants for each case, Alfred Yoder and Joanne Yoder, in file 25040. He set bond in the amount of $1,000 cash. Subsequent to that, another case was filed in file 25533CZ regarding another facility on Marsh Road in very near vicinity of the earlier property that's in 25040. After issuing the bench warrants, Judge Stutzman disqualified himself, and the matter was assigned to me by the Supreme Court and by our chief judge, Judge Robert Pattison. Mr. Thornton, on behalf of the township, made a motion to object to that reassignment because I was not a circuit judge. I'm a district judge. And I made a record on Friday indicating that we are a unified court with a joint operating agreement, and each judge is essentially cross-assigned and can back up the other judges. I provided a copy of that agreement to Mr. Thornton. I made a ruling on his motion to recuse me and denied it. I did a formal order for that, which was in the works here today. I think it's been filed and probably on your way. So I denied the motion to recuse myself, and so here I am. So in file 25533, well, let me back up. In the bench warrant cases, I was at the judicial conference the week of August 18th, and I took Friday the 22nd of August off as a vacation day. It was my understanding that on or near August 22nd, you presented yourselves at the jail and each posted $1,000 bond. The jail gave you an appearance date of August 29th at 2 o'clock. So we were here as an arraignment on your bench warrant for August 29th at 2 o'clock. And there was also a hearing regarding plaintiff's motion for a preliminary injunction in 25533CZ. I learned later, I don't know if both Mr. and Mrs. Yoder were here. I think they were here, or at least Mrs. Yoder was, shortly before 2 o'clock, filed a pleading with the court and then left and did not appear for the hearing, which I was quite disappointed. I spent quite a bit of time trying to prepare for it, and we can't get very far if you're not here. Ma'am, are you recording this?
No. I was communicating.
All right. The matter is being recorded. It's also being live streamed, but you can't make an independent recording of a court proceeding. So anyway, we had the hearing on the motion for the preliminary injunction. And in light of the fact that you weren't there, to oppose it, I granted Mr. Thornton's motion for an injunction, at least preliminarily, regarding the construction of the property at 30158 Marsh Road. And I
Actually,
had
Your Honor, that address is 30246 Marsh Road, where the
All
preliminary
right.
injunction is granted. The defendants live at 30158.
Okay. And you gave me that same correction there. I had to look in the order. Anyway, the second property. So they got what they asked for. They got the preliminary injunction, not yet a permanent injunction. And I was very unhappy that you weren't here. So I issued a new bench warrant for your failing to appear pursuant to the bench warrant that Judge Stutzman had entered. And I gave 48 hours, which is what we normally do in a criminal case, for you to present yourself either at the jail or at the court. That would have been by 5 o'clock tomorrow. And I learned at about 2 o'clock that you were here at our court. We had some other business to transact. So in the second case, 25533CZ, I issued an order granting the township's request for a preliminary injunction. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So that case is done, at least for the time being. What's at issue here is the bench warrant that Judge Stutzman entered and my subsequent bench warrant. I was provided, again, just a few minutes before I came in, a document called Motion to Quash Bench Warrant. It has a proper heading, it has a case number, and it looks like a proper pleading. There's actually two bench warrants. There's Judge Stutzman's original bench warrant. And then there's my bench warrant, which actually hasn't yet issued. You had until 5 o'clock tomorrow to present yourselves, and you've done that. So I don't need a bench warrant. My goal is not to lock you up. My goal is to try to get this case somehow resolved. You saw what happened with the last two guys that they didn't show up when they were supposed to. They did get locked up. And it's a nuisance because when people get arrested, you got to drop what you're doing and deal with their case. And I shouldn't say it's a nuisance, but it is. We schedule things. We don't just sit around here waiting for something to do. We have a lot to do and we're heavily scheduled. So we made time to deal with that gentleman. As you saw, I gave him time served, and then we had another case. All right, what you missed was your arraignment on the original bench warrant. You haven't yet been found in contempt. Judge Stutzman's bench warrant on its face says it was for civil contempt, not criminal contempt. He checked the box that said civil, for civil contempt. So let me advise you of this. When you are cited for contempt, you have a right to have a hearing where it must be established that there is contempt. In a criminal case, this contempt has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. In a civil contempt, it has to be proven beyond a preponderance of evidence. You can't go to jail for civil contempt, at least not initially. However, you can be fined up to $7,500. You have a right to have a hearing where it must be established that there was contempt, which is what I was going to tell you if you'd showed up on Friday, and I would have set some sort of hearing to establish whether or not they could prove you were in contempt. So I'm going to recall my bench warrants. They never actually issued. The bench warrant in 040CZ never issued. So no need to issue those warrants. Arraigned on Judge Stutzman's warrant. What you filed today resembles a proper pleading. Some of the other stuff, I couldn't make head or tail of it. But this is entitled Motion to Quash Bench Warrant and Stay Enforcement. You allege improper use of a bench warrant in a civil case to process violations, and you state in there, no contempt hearing has been held and no order of contempt has been entered. Both of those things are true. We didn't get there yet. Then you argue excessive bail, burden on religious exercise. You asked me to quash Judge Stutzman's bench warrant of July 8th, stay all arrest and enforcement actions pending further review, adjourn further proceedings to permit defendants to file a motion to set aside default judgment. There's default in both cases. If you don't show up in a civil case, you automatically lose and a default judgment enters. Or if a summons and complaint is filed on you and you don't answer it in 21 days, you automatically lose and you're subject to a default judgment, meaning the other side prevails. It doesn't work that way in a criminal case, but in a civil case, it doesn't. So I was very disappointed when you didn't show up. Apparently you'd been here and then left before you actually came in the courtroom. We can't accomplish anything unless you're in the courtroom. So let me ask you first, Mr. Alfred Yoder. I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume anything. So let me ask this. Are you willing to admit civil contempt for failing to appear for Judge Stutzman's hearing? Or do you wish me to set that for a hearing where it must be established that you were in civil contempt?
I filed a special appearance for every court case that was listed.
Yes, but do you wish me to set that matter for a hearing and have them establish that you were in fact in civil contempt?
I'll set it for a hearing.
All right, very good. Joanne Yoder, I'm going to ask you the same question. Judge Stutzman made a finding, or at least an allegation, that you were in contempt for failing to appear. You have a right to have a hearing on that. Do you wish me to set a hearing on your behalf regarding that allegation of civil contempt?
Begin.
Does it do have on there why we didn't? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not hearing.
All right, do you want me to set a hearing on your behalf? Is that yes?
Yes.
All right. I will do that. Now, default judgments have entered in each case. And in order to set aside a default judgment, a certain standard has to be met. There's a Michigan court rule regarding default judgments and motions to set aside a default. We addressed that a little bit on Friday. Mr. Thorne indicated he was going to file a motion to enter a permanent injunction in the 25533 case. But this issue regarding the bench warrant is just in the 25040 case. I said this on Friday and some of your friends disagreed. I'll say it again. You could benefit from having an attorney, from having legal counsel. We're involving Michigan court rules, involving Michigan statutes, issues of procedure, pleading. And I know you don't necessarily subscribe or wish to participate in our legal system, but it's all I got. And if you are in the system, you could benefit by being represented by somebody that understands the system. I don't think you're going to do it, but I think you could benefit from having a licensed attorney, licensed to practice in the state of Michigan to represent you. But at this point, Mr. Thornton, they both presented themselves on my earlier order. They're asking for a contempt hearing, which they're entitled to. And so I need to set it for a hearing regarding contempt. Is there anything else you wish to address?
No, Your Honor. I would assume we can address the township's legal costs in the failure to appear at the next hearing.
Yes, that's my thought. Now, I want to make sure that you come. If you don't come, I'm going to leave you in jail like the last guy until such time as we can have a hearing. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to put you in jail. Even if I wanted to, I don't have the authority to put you in jail. But you need to be here to participate in this hearing. They alleged that you were in contempt. They set bonds of $1,000 apiece. You posted $2,000 of cash bond, which the county is holding. So you need to be here so we can address these issues. You don't have to agree with me, but at least you need to come. So I don't have a date right now to give you, but I'm going to set this for a hearing regarding this contempt allegation. The county is going to be, the township is going to be asking for costs for these hearings. As a practical matter, you didn't come for the hearing on Friday, so they automatically won. So that wasn't very complicated, but we didn't get to address this issue. I've inherited this case from Judge Stutzman. I don't have any preconceived ideas about it. What I said Friday, I don't really know too much about it. The first I learned of it, you guys were at a county commission meeting in May with a number of your supporters. And it was a day when a number of public officials were there because we had some reports to enter. So that was the first I even heard about it. I think you both got up and spoke. I know at least Mrs. Yoder, you did, and others spoke on your behalf. This isn't a county commission matter. They don't have the authority to do anything. They can hear your concerns, but it's a judicial matter. It's a court matter. The township has filed this legal action, and they filed it in the circuit court. And they have to address it, whether they agree or disagree. They have to have a hearing, and they have to try to apply the law to the factual circumstance. So I never even had to do that because you didn't show up. I am going to apply the law to your contempt. The allegation is you got notice to appear for a hearing, did not appear. They gave you a subsequent order to show cause, which is an order to appear to show cause why you should not be found in contempt. He didn't show up for the show cause hearing. At this hearing, Mr. Thornton, we may need a witness. And I don't know who that would be. Your zoning administrator?
Could be, I guess. I'm trying to think. The court wants a witness that they failed to appear?
Well, I don't know what, it's a contempt. So you're the complaining party, and you could make representations as counsel. It is civil contempt. But if I set a new date, will you both appear for that? Mr. Alfred Yoder, will you come to court if I set a contempt hearing date? You allege that I didn't give you a hearing and I didn't make a finding, and your allegation is correct. So I'm going to give you a hearing and an opportunity to speak before I make a finding. So if I give you a new date to appear, will you appear?
Yes, sir.
Joanne Yoder, same thing. If I give you a new date to appear, will you appear? All right, then we can address these. The worst thing that's going to happen at this hearing is I'm going to keep your $2,000 and give them to the township. The best thing that would happen, I guess, it would be I found that you were not in contempt and I give you the money back. I guess the worst thing that could happen is I could order you to pay $7,500. That's the maximum for civil contempt. But the punishment would only be money damages, not jail. Now, there was some sort of representation last Friday that you are still operating this facility as a birthing facility, which violates the first order from Judge Stutzman. And if that's true, you could be found in criminal contempt and put in jail. So Judge Stutzman ordered that you not continue to operate this as a birthing center. If you are doing that, you could be subject to criminal contempt and put in jail, theoretically, for at least 90 days or until the activity stopped. In the second case, the construction of the new building, you're not to engage in any further construction or activity on that premises until it's further permitted by the township and the state. So I'm not going to ask you if you're continuing to run this a birthing center, but if you are, you could go to jail for contempt for violation of Judge Stutzman's order. So my advice would be, until we make further rulings in this case, you don't do it. They meant what they said. Don't do it. Do either of you have any questions? Mr. Alfred Yoder, do you have any questions? Ms. Joanne Yoder, do you have any questions? All right, I'm going to set this for another hearing. I've not entered the bench warrants that I directed last Friday, so you're not subject to being arrested. I've got your bond of $1,000 each in the earlier cases, and room on, and it goes out 8 hours later, so it kicked me out. All right, so I'm going to find a date that works for Mr. Thornton and works for both of you, and probably, I don't know, maybe on a Friday afternoon, but it's going to be somewhere where we have enough time to do it. This is a matter of public interest. Last Friday, I think a number of your supporters were here. Then there were people here. I couldn't tell whether they were on the township side or your side, but the courtroom was full. And I said that then, I'll say it now. This is a public courtroom. Anybody that wants to come in here, this gentleman is just a visitor. He's come here from outside of St. Joseph County because he likes to come watch court. He comes several times a year just to make sure I'm doing things right. So it's public. We don't do anything in secret. In addition, this matter is being live streamed and it's available for viewing on YouTube. So your friends and supporters are welcome to come when we have the next date, but I don't yet know when it is. So
I do have a question, Your Honor. Obviously the original reason for the Yoder's appearance before Judge Stutzman when they first failed not to appear was as part of a show cause for the allegation that they were continuing to run the birthing center in violation of the permanent injunction that had been entered.
All right, we're going to need to set that then. We're going to need to set I may have, that point may have eluded me. So there, then in which case we're going to need testimony. We
Correct.
need to set hearing on a show cause that they're continuing to operate it as a birthing center, as well as the civil contempt that was found for their failure to appear.
And if we could, Your Honor, pick a time, a date and a time when we had the time to do both of those, that would be my preference from the
Well,
top.
what I'm gonna try to do is, what I would do is when normally be a Wednesday jury day. And I'll block out perhaps the whole day. In fact, I think I have a day right now. I think September 24th is blank. It is. I don't have a jury trial set that day. I think that's Fair Week. No, it's the week before the fair. And I don't know any reason why we can't do this. So we'll set show cause for continuing to operate a facility and show cause for contempt for failure to appear for Wednesday, September 24th. At 2025 at 9 o'clock. We'll block out the entire day. We weren't able to put a criminal case in there. I could have maybe this Thursday stuck something in there, but right now I'll block it out for this. So that work for you, Mr. Thornton?
It does, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to set further hearing in this matter for 9 a.m. Wednesday, September 24th. On the original hearing of violation of Judge Stutzman's injunction that you're continuing to operate in a birthing center. If you're found guilty of that type of contempt, you could be placed in jail. The other contempt where you fail to appear is civil contempt, and we'll have a hearing on that matter as well. I'm not being flip or condescending. I really do think you could use some legal advice. We're between the proverbial rock and the hard place. You want to do what you want to do, regardless of what the state says, and the state through the Colon Township doesn't want you to do it. So that lands on the judge, who has to make a ruling. So I will see you both here in this courtroom on Wednesday, September 24th at 9 a.m. We'll address the original contempt that you're continuing to run the birthing center and the secondary contempt where you failed to appear for the hearing. All right, you're free to go. Again, it's my order that you not, Judge Stutzman's order, you not operate this as a birthing center until any further order of the court. All right, you're both free to go. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're bashing on the side of the trailer. You're pounding on the trailer. You're pounding on the door. He opens the door. You hit him with this thing in the head. Now, maybe he hit you first, but then you hit him anyway. Then you were absolute horse's ass to the police. This is file number 24926 FY, People versus Shania Marie Hill. Miss Hill was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon for allegedly hitting her brother in the head with a sock with a heavy object in it, and then resisting obstructing the police officers. the matter was reduced to attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. And the matter was set for a sentence today. The defendant missed several previous court dates. She would be set. There was a P exam set. She didn't show up. She'd get arrested. And then she'd postpone, and then she wouldn't show up, and then she'd get arrested again. And then here we are. So I did get the police report, which was eye-opening. The defendant had been in the Kalamazoo County Jail and was out. She got arrested again in December. Between the time we took this plea and now.
What we just.
Let me see what there was a date of the plea. December 30th. I guess that was earlier in December. So the police report is bad. When I took your plea, you wandered and you gave me this long story about your daughter was at your brother's and you came down there and you thought he was doing stuff with her, but yet you let her live there or placed her there for 2 years.
He was taking her money.
You thought he was taking her money. Then they talked to her. She said she'd rather live there. Anyway, he did provide a brief victim statement, which I'll address.
She's lived with me since he assaulted her right after I first got out and filed my police report. He choked her.
All right. Anyway, then you were absolute horse's ass to the police. And here we are. Ms. Hines, what would you like me to know?
Yeah, this was in May of 24. Rhonda Ives was her initial attorney and had did some discussion with a couple witnesses. Shane and I got off the wrong foot because I didn't realize that the case went back that far. I didn't get any background information from Rhonda Ives, so we had to make up a lot of ground on the day we were here in December. My client was adamant that she did not hit her brother, that her brother had hit her. She was honest with the court. She explained that. That's why the assault with a dangerous weapon was dropped. And she did admit freely that she did kick the police officer, and she was pretty difficult with them. I did watch the body cam. I think she's had kind of a rough life. Her daughter was there. Her daughter's now was back living in Kalamazoo when we entered the plea. She's disabled. She did tell me this morning she's made arrangements at the Gilmore Center to do some inpatient work there. It sounds like she might.
I never thought I would say this, but I can't hear you very well.
It sounds like she has some substance abuse issues. She did admit to drinking that night. Sounds like she's just had a rough life. She's got 5 children. I learned that this morning.
Just a moment, Mr. George, your client just came in. She needed to talk.
I've talked.
Okay, all right.
So it sounds like she's got neglect and abuse or had neglect and abuse charges. So I don't think anything's been really easy for Miss Hill. So I know that she wants to go ahead with the Gilmore Center. She does have pending charges in Kalamazoo County, but she doesn't have the paperwork to tell me what those are. So obviously she has that to deal with. I guess we would just be asking for fines and costs. She did serve some jail time. She has Kalamazoo County jail time, and unfortunately it's taken a while for this to get here, but I'm glad I've now been appointed and I've been able to straighten things out for her. So it's been kind of a mess. So that's what we're asking.
All right, according to what I got from the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department, her charges were assault and battery, resisting a police officer, driving suspended, and resisting a police officer. Those occurred on December 13th of 2024. She did mention that she had been charged with something in Kalamazoo, but we weren't clear.
Right,
I
and
think-
I wasn't clear of that.
I
either.
think those cases are still pending in Kalamazoo County.
Right,
Scheduled it out for, after a month in the treatment center, which I was waiting for today. Pushed it back since that's.
All right, Mr. Gabriel, you've been here now about 10 days, so you inherited this case also. Do you have any input here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I guess I appreciate you looking into what was going on in Kalamazoo, and what immediately pops in my mind is wondering what the defendant's state of mind was at this particular point in time. When I initially read the police report up to a point, I thought, well, this is a lot like what in the old days we would call a drunk and disorderly. And then I saw the kick to the police officer. And to me, that raises us to the kind of level that it deserves to be here. I would read one note, kind of in response to defense counsel's last comment.
Don't mix baking soda with organic honey unless you're ready to read the fine print on a medicine.
From our thought process, the court's well aware of some of the sentencing directives that have come down that affect the circuit court and what they can and can't do with particular cases. And it was the opinion of the office at the time, prior to my arrival, that a plea before you could give her the potential for more sanctions and more help than might be received if the case went up to circuit court. This case kind of arises to the level where it's too bad she didn't get it taken care of right away, because I probably wouldn't have read a lot of the notes that I've read. The issue here between her and her brother that seemed to be fueled by her own alcoholic, intoxicated paranoia about her daughter. The officer talks to the daughter, there's no problems. But then a few months later, let's see, July 15th, the next thing you know, we have a warrant, or this office issues a warrant against the brother for assault on the daughter. That warrant is still open. And that was another factor that resulted in that office, Mr. Marvin's office, not pursuing a felonious assault. So my hope for the court, realizing that this client has been very difficult, is we can try to help, court can try to help, or the court can put her in jail as a punishment for what she did, and hope she gets help on her own. But fines and costs just seems like we're asking for something you're never going to see.
Ms. Hill, I'll give you the last word. What would you like me to know?
I've lost everything these last 2 years. And looking back, I just tried to make excuses for everything. It's this CPS, it's something. And I've stomped my feet and, yelled long enough, and I need to shit or get off the pot, and I've died 4 times this last year, and I'm tired.
What are you struggling with? Opioids or methamphetamine?
It's alcohol.
Okay.
And I'm just to the point where I'm either going to kill myself or change. And that's why the treatment was set up for the following week or the past week. But I can't leave to come to court and stuff like that. You can't leave for it. My daughter, even with the assault charges there, she just said, "Mom, I just want my mom back." I'm like, well, saying crap like I did something isn't cool, but I understand she just wants her mom back. And after the treatment, it's like it's like 5 days detox, something, and then it's like 14 days in, and then it's a 90-day sober living, and then there's another program after that. I've lost my house, all 5 kids. I don't have anything left. I just want to start over. I moved out of Kalamazoo because that is nothing good for me there. It took 20 years and just.
Where do you live now?
Hartford.
Okay.
And Kalamazoo is supposed to do like a global or whatever it's called, where they put all the charges together and they're gonna see how I'm doing after like a month.
So do you have charges in Van Buren County also?
This is the only one besides Kalamazoo.
Okay,
And they were supposed to do probation, I think there.
well, I think that may be the thought.
Yeah. That's what they were saying with the prosecutor and them last time, so they just wanted to make sure I got into the treatment and started, and today was the last thing I had. I got the meds and everything, so.
All right.
I'm too old.
Yes. You do have a lot of baggage. At the time this happened, which by the way was 3 o'clock in the morning, May the 25th was at that time it was a Friday night into a Saturday morning.
Sure, that's what my daughter
So
told me.
you didn't just show up there and want to have a discussion. He said you hit him in the head with a sock with a piece of
I honestly,
pneumatic chisel.
I was
which-
upset with him and I honestly
Yeah,
went there
so
to beat
you
his
were-
ass and I didn't. He punched me and slammed the door, like. Me and my brother.
So I don't blame him. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're bashing on the side of the trailer. You're pounding on the trailer. You're pounding on the door. He opens the door. You hit him with this thing in the head. Now, maybe he hit you first, but then you hit him.
I never hit
And
him. I would admit to it, sir.
all right, well, he claims you did, and they found the instrument. You're drunk. This is in a trailer park.
I'm Kent Sanderson, and I'm excited to introduce you to this course. I'm proud to have designed it in collaboration.
As Mr. Gabriel said, drunk and disorderly, to be sure. Then apparently he got charged with you, but hasn't been arrested yet. And so they decided they weren't going to pursue the assault part, just the cop part. So the police show up. You got a previous resisting and obstructing conviction out of Kalamazoo. You're on bond for resisting and obstructing from December 13th, or excuse me, you got arrested again for resisting and obstructing in Kalamazoo while you're on bond for here for resisting and obstructing. And the only reason this case is so old is that you continually failed to appear for your hearings when you were supposed to. We kept bonding you out. The first one was a surety bond, and your surety company called on after you failed to appear.
I had a lot of problems with the man that bonded me out. And
Well,
he
then,
pulled the bond.
Yes, he called and said she is a quote unquote hot mess. And then he pulled the bond and then
Bonded me out every time.
I think you spent the 25th and you got out on the 26th the first time. Then you got picked up again on the 11th and the 10th of July. You did 2 days there. Then you failed to appear again. You got arrested on December 17th and you posted bond on the 18th. So you've done a total of 4 days in jail. Since you got arrested on December 17th, and that may have been, did they bring you down here from Kalamazoo?
Yeah, it was like a whole week this last time.
All right, so you were in Kalamazoo from the 13th, and then they brought you here on the 17th. And I gave you a bond on the 18th. So you got 4 St. Joseph County credit days.
More than that.
The police officers tried to give you a breath test, which you didn't have to take it. It wasn't a driving case, but you wouldn't. They were just trying to determine how intoxicated you were, and you didn't cooperate with that. Your brother says serious need for rehab for drugs and alcohol. I love my sister, but she needs help.
He's never gonna be out of prison.
There's the minimum allowable fine of $125. I'm gonna order 34 days in jail, credit 30, or credit 4. You're gonna do 30 days in jail starting right now.
What?
Yeah, you're going to jail. Eventually, there's a
And I'm going
consequence.
to
You're
treatment
going
for
to
30
jail. If you'd like to go for longer, we could discuss it further. You're getting 30 days in jail for your obnoxious drunken behavior at 3 o'clock in the morning where you kick some 3 rivers police officers. You failed to appear on 3 previous occasions. You have a previous conviction for resisting and obstructing a police officer. And while you were on bond AWOL from our case, you got arrested again for resisting, obstructing, and assault in Kalamazoo. So you're not in Kalamazoo, you're in Centerville. So you're going to jail for 30 days, 125 days or 2 additional days.
I'm in the middle
jail.
of getting my meds and stuff.
Hey, well, you're going to jail. That's what happens when you get sentenced. There's a consequence.
I thought that we didn't, I thought we had a whole agreement thing.
We did not have an agreement. You're going to jail, which you've earned. If you'd like to earn some more, we can discuss it. I'd like you to just quietly go with the officer. You'll get some good time. You'll be out in 25 days and you can start your probation in Kalamazoo.
Where's the cleanup?
I don't even know if this, I work. It's got a dent on the door.
We'll tell your friend.
My home passport, so they can give my friend his car back.
It's 30 days, 34 days jail, credit 4, no probation. I waived all the fines and costs,
I
including
have
attorney
worked there
fees,
too. How can we let
except
them
the
know?
minimum fee of $125, which should be paid before your release or 2 additional days. Mr. Gabriel, thank you for your help. We have one more to do.
Search your passports. It's his car.
Arnold, am I correct, sir?
Attempt Arnold.
Yeah, it's his car, it's Washington. My kids is.
If you guys want to have further discussion, you can do it in the back. I don't want to do it here on the live feed, and I don't have
Sorry.
another case to do.
And it's a black floor with a dent on the other side.
Are you just talking your phone? No.
So what's one thing that most people don't know about getting out of debt? What's the best way out?
Most people don't know how debt really works. I got fired for this one thing I shared that allows people to reduce.
All right, we are back. The lawyers have been sort of lining things up and talking with the clients, talking among each other. We've got a number of pretrials, 2 of which are quite involved. So we're gonna just get to it. Mr. Bush, have you got anything ready?
I have 3 pleas ready.
All right, very good. All right, who do you want to do first?
Why don't we take care of Nathan Van Deventer?
All right, Mr. Van Deventer, would you come forward, please? Have a seat there with your lawyer. Good afternoon. Are you Nathan Van Deventer?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're from Paw and you're charged with driving suspended first offense. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. You pled not guilty at your arraignment, also pled not guilty at the attorney pretrial. We scheduled the matter for today. Joshua Robert is here with Abigail Stoll on behalf of the prosecution. Mr. Bush, what's the status here?
My client's going to admit to driving suspended first. It's our belief and understanding that if we went to trial, he would be charged driving suspended second.
All right, driving suspended second. is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Requires a suspension of your license. I think this came up at an earlier pretrial. Shows you are suspended. You have a previous no operator's license in Cassopolis in 23, another unlawful use of a license in Cass in 2022, another one in 2022. All right. Anybody threaten you to get you to plead to that charge?
No, Your Honor.
Or promise you anything?
No.
Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Bush has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. All right. Were you driving a car here in St. Joseph County on May 9th?
Yes, I was.
Was your license suspended at that time?
Yes, I was.
What's your connection down here? There's Van Deventers from here in St. Joe County. Do you still live in Paw Paw?
No, I moved here about a year ago, alone.
All right. And where do you live?
431 9th Street in Three Rivers.
All right. I think you told me that last time. You had a pre-exam set for Tuesday. What happened to that one?
He executed a waiver, Your Honor.
All right. So that case has been, waiver. I probably didn't see him. All right.
Judge Patterson.
Okay. I really didn't see him. Are you working someplace?
Yeah, I work for Lee Corners Construction.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. There's another guy also working there that I talked to him yesterday, I think. How'd you get here?
My mother.
I asked the other guy what you were working on. What's your project right now?
I'm flipping a house over on Walnut Street. It's one of the older houses in Three Rivers. I'm pretty much single-handedly doing all the work. I have a little masonry business too.
What's the number on Walnut Street?
614.
I used to deliver newspapers over that neighborhood when I was a kid.
I guess the house is 160 years old.
I'm not that old.
It's got quite a lot of attention though. A lot of people know about it.
I'll drive down there. All right, well, I'm not gonna put you in jail for this. I'm gonna give you a fine, some time to pay it. This is further gonna go on your driving record and cause you to continue to be suspended, you understand?
I do.
You could get from where you're living to the Walnut Street on a bike or even walk, I suppose.
That's what I've been doing.
$75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, and $150 attorney fee. That adds up to $350. Many, many years ago, driving suspended second carried a mandatory minimum 5-day jail sentence. Come a long way from that. Now there's a presumption that there won't be a jail sentence that the court has to overcome. And there's nothing aggravated about this other than the fact that there's a couple priors. Can you pay that within 30 days or would you rather do a payment plan?
Payment plan. I have a lot of fines right now.
Where are those?
On my fines, I'm paying off. I'm on probation for child support.
Out of which county?
I did Cass, but it just got turned over here. Most of my money goes to that. The deal is once it's paid off, I get off probation.
All right, that sounds like an incentive. Well, where were you going? Do you remember?
I was in a bank parking lot and I had to go to the post office to get a money order for child support. And the officer passed me and then I drove down to Shell and he pulled me over to Shell.
Where were you coming from?
Work.
Whose car were you driving?
Lee's.
He can get in trouble for letting you drive a car, but now he probably knows that.
1 spoonful of honey with cinnamon before bed equals 0 memory collapse. The secret, the billion.
Yeah,
All right, I wanted the court officer to take you out to set up that payment plan. And this matter is resolved. It will go on your driving record, but I didn't order any additional jail time. Your other matter is bound over to circuit court. The last thing you need in your life right now is methamphetamine. It's expensive, it's debilitating, and just getting in your way. So hopefully you can deal with that. You're good to go, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Antonio Wayne Lee Wilson. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. Good afternoon. We got a lot going on here. Not as bad as our next case, but still a lot. File 251017 alleges operating with no valid license on June 2nd. File 25807 SM alleges no insurance under the insurance code and some civil infraction. I'm not sure. That was offense date April 30th. Accompanying that is no valid operator's license, failed to yield to emergency vehicle, and that's attached to the April 30th incident. April 7th, driving with no insurance under the insurance code. That is file number 25643 SM. And that same date, April 7th, driving without a valid operator's license. And there's one more, speeding. I think that's also April 7th. So we got April 7th, April 30th, and June 2nd. Mr. Aubert is here on behalf of the prosecutor's office. What's the plea offer here?
There was a package offer made of pleading guilty to the speeding ticket in 25643 SM, and also a count of no insurance. And then pleading guilty to the failure to yield to an emergency vehicle that's part of the 25807 SM file. The remainder of the charges would be dismissed.
That's a pretty sweet deal, Mr. Wilson. There's no ops attached to that. Speeding in this particular variety. $95 and a $55 carries a $200 fine, and I believe that carries 4 points. No insurance under the insurance code is a misdemeanor, carries a fine of not less than $200, not more than $500, and does not carry a suspension. And failure to yield is a civil infraction, and that carries let me find that one. $145 fine, and I believe that carries 2 points. You understand? Anybody promise you to get you to plead to that?
No.
or threaten you?
No.
Well, let me get into these files. I'll have to chase them a little bit. Let's go to April 30th, the fail to yield, that is in civil infraction. I'm looking for a copy of the ticket. Not in that file. You got a ticket at 10 o'clock in the morning, M60 in Fulton Road near Leonidas, operating with no insurance, drive without a valid license, failed to yield for an emergency vehicle. And that's all it says. Were you driving down M60 at Fulton Road at that time?
Yeah.
Where were you going?
I was just driving around.
Without a valid license.
Yeah.
All right, just in the morning, you have any destination in mind?
No, not really.
All right. And was there an emergency vehicle pulled over to the side of the road?
Yeah, but it was, I don't know. I was just more like looking for like a safer spot to pull over. If that makes sense.
And so
Like
you didn't pull over?
I almost passed out from a mold reaction in my own basement. My hospital grade HEPA filter.
Is that true? You didn't pull over in a timely manner?
I mean, I don't know what the time is that. I mean, like, I feel like no, I didn't.
All right. Well, it's a civil infraction, 3 points. All right, that carries $145 fine within 30 days. That would be October 4th. That's failure to yield. Emergency vehicle. So there's the first one. Was it envisioned, which one would be the no insurance? And I guess we can do that on the April 7th matter. Were you driving a car here in St. Joseph County on April 7th and you didn't have valid insurance on the car?
Mm-hmm.
You remember we were going back on April 7th? Let me see if I can tell you where it was.
Yeah, where was it?
643. That was at Lutz Road and Woodside Lane. Again, it had a speeding.
Oh, yeah.
97 miles an hour. Where were you going that day?
To my friend's house.
Did you not have valid insurance at that time?
No.
And the speeding was April 7th. Were you going 97 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Why?
I was trying to go around I was trying to go around cars.
You have an Audi?
Mhm.
Yes. Is it a tuner car or just a regular car?
That's a regular car.
That is a $200 fine. Due October 4th. So you got $345 for the civil infractions. One carries 3 points, one carries 4 points.
Did you know that if you're over 65 and suffer a fall, you have over a 50% chance of dying?
All right, what's left is the sentence on the no insurance. That's punishable by up to a year in jail. The no offices are all dismissed, which is a sweet deal for you. Are you doing anything to get your license?
He showed today, he has his temporary instruction
Do you really?
Issued on August 12th. That's partly why the prosecutor was wanting to work with him a little bit today.
All right, these are going to hit your driving record. I'm not sure what's going to do to your ability to get your license because they're both moving violations. It might delay your ability to get your license. Do you understand?
Yeah. How long?
I don't know, 90 to 180 days. I'm not positive, it may not, but I'll give you the worst case scenario. When the Secretary of State sees these, they're not going to be very impressed. Are you working someplace?
No.
How do you afford this car?
I mean, I bought the car off a while ago, and right now I just I take care of my grandma. Help and take care of my grandma. Right now, well, I've been doing that.
Well, you owe a lot of money.
Yeah.
How about if I can't wipe out the civil infractions, but I can wipe out the misdemeanor fine? How about if we just do a bunch of jail time and I wipe out the fine on the misdemeanor? Not a good idea?
Jail time? How much in jail time?
Well, about 1,000 days. Maybe I'll wake you up. You're in la la land.
No.
Driving around. I'm just driving around with no driver's license. Then there's an emergency vehicle and I don't pull over. And then I'm driving around. I'm going 97 miles an hour on Lutz Road at Woodside Lane where it goes like this. You might have a death wish, but the other person in the other car don't have one. That's an extremely dangerous spot to be going that fast. There's a lot of blind hills. It's straight, but it's hilly. I can't give you 1,000 days, but maybe that'd be longer but I could put you in jail and you're like, ugh, not taking this very seriously. You owe me a bunch of money. So far, you owe $345 and no insurance carries a minimum $200 fine. So you're convicted of a couple of civil infractions. That's punishable by a fine only. They're not even crimes. You did manage to get your permit, so that's something. So what I'm really sentencing on is no insurance, which is not all that serious of a crime. Miss Baker likes it so much, she has about 6 of them. But and that one is expensive, $200 minimum fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee. I think that's $475, 200 plus 150 plus 50 plus 75 is 475 plus 345. $820 altogether. I'm going to give you some additional time in the no insurance case. I'm going to give you until December 1st. So you came out of this with no suspension, no ops on your license, 2 civil infractions, and this insurance charge, which is not included in the moving violation.
This new scam is spreading rapidly in 2025 and emptying bank accounts in seconds.
All right, you get 3 envelopes. My fear is I'm going to see you again before very long. So don't drive in violation of your permit or all the wheels will fall off. And try to do what you need to do to get your license. You're good to go.
Thank you.
All right, good luck, sir. Is Mr. Bakarowski here?
He was a no-show as of last time I checked the hall, Your Honor.
All right, well then let's deal with Miss Baker.
Do you want me to go out again and see if?
No, we'll deal with her and then we'll check on him. Well, give me a minute, Miss Baker. I misplaced your file. Did I send out Autumn Baker's face sheet?
I don't think so, because I don't think I've received anything.
Well, you're about to get that.
Yep.
And
What's in here?
I didn't see it. I thought I had it at one
I think
time.
I see it.
You found it? Thank you. Thank you. All right.
What else is behind there? I think I gave you 2 things.
All right. Jenny came in and rescued me. This is Autumn Rachel Baker. She's charged with no insurance under the insurance code. Let's talk about this one, Miss Baker. Mr. Wilson had a couple of these. This is alleged to have occurred on April 18th in Centerville. They gave you a warning on unregistered vehicle and wrote you a ticket for no valid insurance. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $500, not less than $200. So the minimum fine with the $200 minimum fine the state costs is $325. Doesn't carry any points. It's not under the motor vehicle code. It's under the insurance code. And as I mentioned, you have several previous convictions of this sort of thing. You have $2,012 worth of unpaid tickets. Part of your problem is you live in Centerville and every time you breathe sideways, they pull you over. But you keep driving without insurance. No insurance, reduced from no proof of insurance, file 249058. You owe $204. No proof of insurance, 2005, 1017, $204. Another no proof of insurance, 25749, and that one you owe $90. Then you got some plate violations and some other stuff, mostly just driving while poor. So this is the 4th no proof of insurance charge you've had in a year. I believe you're on some sort of payment plan. I don't know when did you make your last payment?
Yesterday. I was gonna make another one today.
All right, well, I'll chip away at it. All right, are you gonna plea, what's the plea agreement here?
Yeah, she was able to show that the vehicle is insured now. so that they did offer her no proof of insurance today.
All right. That's a civil infraction. That's punishable by a fine only. And I'm just gonna make it part of the payment plan that you're already on. You can't keep driving around with no insurance, but maybe you got insurance. Mr. O'Bear, you confirm the plea offer?
That's,
Tell Ms. Stoll.
that's correct.
All right, well, you can thank Ms. Stoll for this gift, because I contemplated putting you in jail. I don't very often on no insurance, but when you just keep driving with no insurance, and I said this probably to you, when you get in an accident with no insurance, it's super expensive because the other guy's insurance company is gonna then sue you because it's not covered by the no fault statute. All right, do you acknowledge that on that day back on April 18th, you were driving here in Centerville without valid proof of insurance in the car?
Yes.
We've already seen California burn, Texas drown, and tens of thousands take to
What are you doing now, Miss Baker? Are you working someplace?
No, I am cleaning my sister's house every week.
Well, he wasn't very happy about it, but Judge Stutzman sent Caron Fuller to prison a couple weeks ago, and that's changed your life circumstance. Plus, you still got other cases pending. He didn't want to do it, but he did. All right, fine and cost is $150. Part of existing payment plan. How much did you pay yesterday?
160.
All right, very good. These aren't evil, heinous crimes. There's two kinds of crimes they teach you about in law school. Malum prohibitum. That means it's a crime because somebody said it was. Not having a license plate on your car is not inherently dangerous to society, but they say you have to have it. Malum in se means it's just bad. Killing somebody, stealing something, punching somebody in the face. That's bad because it's bad. None of these are that. They're all malum prohibitum, things that the state says you're supposed to do that you don't do. But you have valid insurance now, you're making payments on it. Prosecutor saw fit to reduce it to a civil infraction. And so be it. If I don't see you for a while, you probably don't want to come. Between your hearings and Caron's hearings, I've probably seen you 20 times. This, not that, but I bet I've seen you 10 times. How about if you don't come back for a while?
That's my plan.
All right, you take her out to the counter and she can make that part of the existing payment plan. Gerald Anthony Bekarowski is not present. This is 25801 SM. Let's speak to that a little bit. Mr. Bush, have you had any contact with him?
No, I sent him a letter to 214 East Main Street in Centerville, told him the date and time of the pretrial conference. That letter was sent July 16th. The letter has not been returned to my office.
He has another last pretrial with Attorney Yancey scheduled for October 30th. Attorney Harden, excuse me. I don't know what. He was here on something else. He came in to make a payment in July, and there was an open warrant for him. So I arraigned him, gave him a PR bond, appointed a lawyer for him, and he repaid me by not showing up.
We're just finishing the record.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, you want me to stop this for a minute? All right, well, I'm gonna issue a warrant from Mr. Bakarowski with a $1,000 cash or surety bond, 48 hours to turn himself in. That's not the record.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, the address that you sent it to is the same address we
You
have.
don't have that address?
No, he has some.
I have a phone number in the file. I'll give him a call.
All right, well, if you can get him over here, he can come in right now. Just down the street.
Actually, I gotta wait around. I have a meeting at 4:30 with Stickley's fine.
Oh,
Literally
all
here
right.
for the next hour and a half.
Okay, well, I'll be here.
If we can get him here, that would literally work today.
I'll go over and knock on his door.
Mr. Middleton, are you still on the record?
I'm on the live feed, so yeah, give me a second. We're not on the record. But let me shut this off. Yeah, Mr. Bakarowski's also got some other problems. All right, Mr. Bakarowski, if you don't get in here, you got a bench warrant with $1,000 bond. Maybe Mr. Bush can get you from 214 East Main Street. If you had a good arm, you could throw a baseball that far. Maybe you could. I don't think I could anymore, but all right, literally just down the street from the courthouse. All right, I'll stop the live stream while we're discussing.
Mario, what's the biggest secret in Hollywood?
Well, everyone here uses debt instead of debt using that.
Attorney Hall, did you have any concerns about the document that I sent you? I have been.
I was just now reading it because for some reason I was looking at your other email chain and I was not able to. This is a different email chain with the court, so I probably not.
Thank you.
Yes, that's looks good to me.
Okay, thank you.
All right. This matter was set for 1:15, and my apologies. I blocked out the entire afternoon for a trial in this matter. The title of the case is Riverside Estates versus Amanda Boyer. Riverside Estates is the name of a small trailer park campsite place on Withers Road here in St. Joe County. They are represented by attorney Dana Hull from the Swistak Levine Law Firm. The defendant, Amanda Boyer, is present and she's represented by Megan Bauer. We had several previous hearings in this matter, dating back to June. I thought we were close to resolving the matter in August, but we weren't. I set the matter for hearing for August 13th. It wasn't resolved. There was an escrow order in place. I believe the defendant has paid. I wasn't clear. Escrow for, I think, June and July, but I don't believe escrow was paid for August. Anyway, the matter was set for a hearing today. This is filed as a non-payment of rent case. And defendant, which is a whole issue, whether you can file a demand for non-payment of rent case in a mobile home case, but I think this is lot and trailer. So the defendant raised a number of habitability issues, and I'm concerned about some of those at this park. Some photographs and other documents were presented. Exhibit list was presented today, but I'm advised by Attorney Bauer that a settlement has been reached. I gave Ms. Hull permission to appear by Zoom. And Ms. Bauer is here live with her client. So Ms. Bauer, what's the status here?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Your Honor. You are correct that there are 2 months paid into escrow. Ms. Boyer was prepared to pay the third month today, but we have, as you've indicated, reached resolution on the matter in the case. At this time, the parties have agreed to a conditional dismissal of the case on the terms that Ms. Boyer and her family will return the keys and vacate the premises on or before October 5th of 2025. And the amount of money in escrow currently should be released to the plaintiff. And the release of that escrow will satisfy the outstanding, account between the parties through the last day of occupancy, whether that be October 5th or earlier. Ms. Boyer does not want to stay there any longer than necessary in light of the positive bacteriological tests at with the water and the other issues that you referenced on the record. The parties have agreed that the security deposit's not contemplated by this agreement, so it'll be handled in the ordinary course. Ms. Boyer will follow the security deposit law or the Landlord-Tenant Relationships Act with regard to her forwarding address. And the case is to be dismissed now on the condition that Ms. Boyer and her family follow the terms of this agreement. And as long as they remain vacated from the premises, the case will stay dismissed. However, if the tenants have not vacated on or before the 5th, then on or after Monday, October 6th, the plaintiff is free to file an affidavit of default, request reinstatement of the case, file an affidavit of default, and ask the court to enter an immediate judgment of possession and sheriff's order to be immediately issued to Sergeant Morse or the sheriff of plaintiff's choosing. However, if the court is not satisfied that Ms. Boyer has defaulted on the terms of the agreement, then the case is to remain dismissed.
Ms. Hull, do you hear everything that Ms. Bauer said?
Yeah.
And you agree with that? If she vacates by October 5th, case will be dismissed. Effective today or tomorrow, the escrow funds will be remitted to the plaintiff, and that will resolve the case. I couldn't hear you.
I said, yes, that's our agreement.
All right, thank you. Ms. Boyer, do you understand that if you don't vacate, you'd be subject to immediate eviction?
Yes.
Now, I went out there this morning. Actually, I did 3 things in that neighborhood. I also viewed a garage that's being built without a permit and another problem property in that same vicinity. So I killed 3 birds with 1 stone. There were 5 cars at your lot. Are you in lot 22?
Mm-hmm.
It's the last trailer on the end. Yeah, there were a bunch of cars parked there this morning at about 10 o'clock, 4 or 5. And Ms. Hall, I had invited one of your colleagues to come view this property. I think you'd have a new perspective on it. I suspect every one of those taps is full of E. coli bacteria. That park has been there as long as I've been alive. Everybody is flushing their toilet out of the same groundwater where the wells are. As far as I could tell, there's no sewage treatment facility. There's a couple of outhouse kind of bathhouse things. Anyway, so I think there's some serious issues with the sanitation there. But by this agreement, we don't join that issue. You simply agree to vacate.
Yes.
Now, frankly, you should have vacated a long time ago. The sooner you get out of there, the better off for you. But I had this situation, I mentioned this more than once here on the record, of another place that I call the health department. And they were reluctant to go condemn it and make everybody that was there homeless. There was a larger park than this. But I suspect the problem you had is
don't mix baking soda with organic honey unless you're ready to read the fine print on a medicine.
Is with others. But as I said, there were how many people are living there?
Me and my 3 kids. So
do you know who all the other cars were?
And I'm the only one that's got the vehicle there. There's a burgundy car there, but there's a green van behind me. That's where other people live. And maybe across the street at a yellow house, but
this is as you go around the curve at the bottom of the ravine there?
it's not at the bottom. It's like when you pull straight in, you go straight back and you can turn and then you go down. Yeah.
It's lot 22, the last trailer in the row.
On the right.
Yeah, there were 4 or 5 trailers parked there, or cars parked there. So maybe they went to the adjoining lot or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
There was some sort of dilapidated structure in the back, like a shed or something.
It did look crowded when I was there, Judge.
But I think it's just where it's so small. There's like no space. You got a truck here, a van here, my vehicle here, one in the driveway, and then.
Well, you're gonna leave the property.
Yes.
I was told there was 2 $400 payments, but I don't think that's right. Rent is $9.95 per month. I think you made 2 installment payments of $9.95.
That's correct, Judge. I don't have the receipts printed, but Ms. Boyer did send me.
Are we talking? Yeah.
The escrow, yeah. It was in multiple portions, but I think that has to do with money orders being limited.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have the order, or are you gonna present it to me?
I have an order right here, Judge.
May I see it?
Absolutely. May I indicate one additional thing for the record, Judge?
Yes.
There is an additional named defendant, Mr. Alan Freshour.
Yes.
I told him that because we had reached settlement and he was represented, and to avoid losing his job, that it was better that he attend his work again because he was represented. So he has consented to the terms of the settlement as
All
well.
right. It's Amanda Boyer and all occupants.
Yeah.
And this order says Amanda Boyer et al. All right. It's signed by Megan Bauer, Amanda Boyer, on the record for Alan Freshour, and Miss Hull, formerly, you're now Dana Holm.
Depends on who you ask, I guess. My maiden name is Holm. I'm going back to that. The state bar hasn't changed it yet, so it's.
I'll call you by what you prefer, but I've known you as Dana Hall. And we have your consent on the record to this agreement?
Yes.
All right, you have a little more than a month to vacate, which I certainly encourage you to do.
Judge, I'll indicate that Ms. Boyer has been diligently working and has something in the works.
Good. All right, Ms. Hall, thank you. And I'm glad I didn't drag you all the way down here for this settlement, but I know you and your firm's been working on settling this, but you've heard my concerns about this park. This issue is going to come up again.
It is, Your Honor. I've never dealt with this park in particular. However, I haven't seen the well water gets tested weekly, and there hasn't been, to my knowledge, a bad test coming back, except I think there was one in July, and then they tested again the next day and it was fine. So if anybody has one, I'd like to
maybe there's more to it. But okay. Anyway, this case is resolved. We don't have to join that issue. I'll give you the file to the bailiff. I'll take you out and get a copy of the order of conditional dismissal. One way or the other, you're going to be out of there by this October the 6th. And that's good for everybody concerned. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I guess I'm all set then. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Attorney
Let's
Hall.
talk about that. Judge Middleton's courtroom gave us a good cross-section of everyday justice, from license suspensions to landlord-tenant disputes, with a few colorful detours in between. He kicked things off with Nathan Van Deventer, who admitted to driving on a suspended license. The judge handled it in his trademark style, firm about the seriousness of the charge, but conversational enough to draw out details about Nathan's job, housing.
In the Win with Zen sweepstakes, you can get a chance to win $100,000. But there's more than one.
You're a mean drunk and a coward. You slapped her in the face and then you took off running in the dark in your shorts and a t-shirt. They caught up with you later because you knew what was going to happen. People versus Quentin Dion Banks. File number is 241925. Mr. Timothy George is here with the defendant. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Gary Gabriel is here. Mr. Gabriel indicated he wanted to be present for this one, and he is, and we appreciate that. Mr. George had a conflict, but he's apparently worked through it. So this matter started as a domestic violence third offense as a habitual offender. It was reduced to a charge of domestic violence first offense. The matter was set for sentencing here today. It's alleged that on or about September 27th, he slapped his live-in partner, Pamela Heflin, in the face, then took off and got arrested sometime later. Mr. Banks has quite a lengthy history of assaulting Ms. Heflin and others. And frankly, this is a tough sentence. Mr. George sent us some information that said the defendant has been on some anti-alcohol medication since last spring. This incident occurred in September, and alcohol was believed to be a factor in this matter. Mr. George, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I think I've had the opportunity to represent Quentin a couple times, and the version that I see isn't consistent with what's contained in police reports. I think the most difficult part about this is, my client understands that he can't renegotiate his criminal history, and a lot of it is alcohol, domestic violence, and the two probably go hand in hand. Here, obviously he entered a plea, acknowledged what he did. And I think the steps that he's trying to take show the court that he would be able to complete a probation if the court is willing to do that. Obviously, he's on this medication, says that that is something that does help him. He's also made contact with an organization called Stacks in Kalamazoo. That would be for anger management. And that's something that he did on his own without me saying anything to him. Obviously, I know if the court has a more intensive program that they would like him to participate in, that's something that he'd be willing to do. He does maintain full-time employment at Bravo Trailers. He actually just showed me a pamphlet here where he won a TV as part of a drawing as one of the employees of the month for last year. So, you know, in the end, Your Honor, my client understands that there has to be consequences for actions. I don't know what this relationship is going to be going forward. It's probably best for them to just go their separate ways. And as the courts heard me say before, the jail is always going to be there. But you know, my client is willing to participate in a probation that would keep him on track, allow him to keep his job, work through any type of domestic violence or anger management coursework that the court would want him to complete. And, you know, complete any other type of programs or services that this court would want him to do. The one thing I would note is this court did indicate that he had an outstanding fine the last time he was here in court. It's my understanding that he has paid that off. So we just asked the court to consider that. We understand that there is a lengthy criminal sentence or criminal history here. But you know, I do think that there is some nuance, and we'd ask the court to consider an alternative sentence. Thank you.
All right, I guess the question is, do I do 93 days in jail or some sort of probation? Mr. Graber, what's your thought here?
Yeah, very simply, my thought is that the court should do the 93 days in jail. I did pull up the report, and as the court's aware of our system that we have in this office, a whole bunch of cases show up about somebody. I clicked on the wrong one. Interestingly enough, I clicked on one that talked about Thanksgiving of, I don't know if it was 2 years ago. Mr. Banks is intoxicated.
That was 2020. That would be 202625, where he assaulted his mother.
And there was some argument with somebody else, went in the house and ended up slapping the lady. The man seems to have a problem keeping his hands to himself. I don't know how somebody gets raised to that point where they continue to repeat the behavior. And then when they finally get in trouble again, then it's, oh, well, now I can correct it. Now I can do this. He was given a significant reduction in charges by members of our staff. But again, we know that when we go down that low, the court still has the option of 93 days in jail, and kind of behavior that continues to repeat itself. I think the only way we can break the cycle is let somebody know that this is the maximum on this one. You do it again, we'll be at a different charge level, and we'll be seeking the maximum on that one. I do know that listening to the video, we haven't had any input from the victim, but I watched parts of the interview between her and the police officer, and she wasn't a damn nut. It's not on her that I want him locked up and I want him kept away. I mean, if Mr. Banks can take solace, it's not her, it's us, it's me, thinking that that should be what the court does. Thank you.
How old are you now, Mr. Banks?
41.
Well, this history goes back more than 20 years. 045234 was charged as domestic violence second offense in 2004. So you had one before that. 2005 05510 SM aggravated assault. 062671 a robbery, larceny, and a domestic violence second. You pled to domestic violence second. I believe it was on Miss Heflin in 06. I could be incorrect about who my victim is. Assault, great bodily harm. You failed to appear. That was in 2012, and then we caught up with you and you pled guilty. Domestic violence second 122367 FY. It was charged as a felony, reduced to a second. He pled guilty to that. Domestic violence, second, 2014, 142538 FY, bound over to circuit court, and you ended up with a felony conviction. During some of these matters, you were on parole. Then in 2020, you were charged with domestic violence, third offense for assaulting your mother by slapping her in the face. That's the one that Mr. Gabriel was referring to. It was reduced all the way down to disturbing the peace from a felony charge. That's before Mr. Gabriel came back. 2022, you stole Miss Heflin's car. Unlawful use of an automobile. And then 2022, assault with intent to commit great bodily harm as a habitual fourth offense, bound over to circuit court. That was Miss Heflin. So that's 9 domestic violence or other assault charges, plus some other sundry misdemeanors, including larcenies and the multiple drunk driving cases. You're a mean drunk and a coward. You slapped her in the face and then you took off running in the dark in your shorts and a t-shirt. They caught up with you later because you knew what was going to happen. The only thing you got going for you is the fact that you've got this job at Bravo Trailers and a girlfriend who is either unwilling or doesn't feel strongly enough about it to come in here and provide any additional input. So what do I do with that? 9 previous assaults, at least 3 on this person, an assault of your mother. Each one of these was alcohol involved. Alcohol is involved in this one. I don't know what to say. I don't know how many bites of the apple you get. So what would you like me to know?
My lawyer stated that everything that he stated, and I'll just go leave it there.
Where are you staying?
Right now I'm with my cousin.
All right, who's that?
Kenny.
Oh, okay. Everybody's related to anybody else. I had Kenny as a kid on my basketball team. When he was a kid. Your graduation year was 01 or 02?
1.
Tell me about your job at Bravo Trailers.
It's a cargo trailer factory. I'm in the options department. I've been with them over a year, but in the industry, roughly 9 years. Previously was with Hallmark.
And I heard Mr. George say you were employee of the month at the end of the year. So you're probably good at that. You're not very good at this.
I also have children that's dependent on the child support that's being paid for the last consistently the last 2 years as well.
That's relevant also. One of these priors in there was a non-support and you got charged with felony non-support. How many kids do you have?
I have total of 5, but 2 that's of age for child support. The rest are adults.
Who's the mother on those kids?
Charlene Von Traeger.
And where do they live?
Battle Creek.
You don't have a valid driver's license, do
No.
you? How do you get back and forth to work?
I ride with a coworker.
All right, that's ideal. How'd you get here?
Got picked up and dropped off by my cousin. He'll be back.
Let's make sure you didn't drive here.
He walked up here, I seen that.
Okay, good. So how do I weigh that out? 9 assault convictions. One was a disturbing the peace. Some while on parole. You were not on parole, I don't think, or probation when this one went down. You were not on paper when this went down in September. Why did you run away?
I left because she asked me to. I didn't run, Your Honor. And I also turned myself in on this. I wasn't arrested. And this disturbing the peace that occurred when I was on Swift and Shore that was involving of my mother, that wasn't a domestic on my mother. I ended up clear to the disorderly conduct as part of a deal, but for my Swift and Shore, I had a hearing where it was found that I was the one that had been assaulted. It was Judge Stutzman.
Your blood alcohol was 287. You're on Swift and Shore. It's wondering you didn't go back to prison for that. Was dispatched to Street regarding Maureen Banks. So that's the address you're at now. Is Maureen Banks living there too?
No, that's not the address that I'm at. That's my mailing address.
All right. We met the victim, Maureen Banks, who advised her adult son, Quentin, slapped her on the left side of her face, knocking her to her ground. Quentin had hit her. He was arrested for domestic violence. He had a blood alcohol of 287. So what did Swift and Shore do when you're a 287 while you're on strict supervision?
I got 1 year in the county jail for the Swift and Shore, but it was found in the hearing that I wasn't the one that did the assaulting. That was Gina had requested the hearing because of the deal that was worked with the court being a disorderly person. She wanted to still have the hearing. And it was found then that I wasn't being assaulted.
All right, well, that's quite intoxicated. Swift and Shore does lots of testing and 287. In 22, when you previously assaulted Pamela Heflin, I responded to Floating Bridge Road, contact Pamela Heflin, stated she was in bed with Quentin Banks. They got in an argument over a text message. He rolled over and grabbed her by the neck. At that point, he had his hands on her neck. She tried to yell for her son, but she could barely yell. Heflin told me Banks let go of her neck and then shoved her in the face. She better get her son or she would flip him too. They've been in a relationship for over 10 years. And you didn't have anything to say about it. And you got arrested and you were cooperative with the police. I think that one got bound over to circuit court. I don't know what that one was. And I think the old one, then you alleged stole her car and then alleged way back in 6, that robbery larceny, I think was her. Do you and Miss Heflin have any children together?
No.
Tell me about this medication you're taking.
It's just Soferum. It's an abuse. At the time of the incident, I had a medical foot issue, and I was asked by my doctor to stop taking it at that point. And that's how, that's not how, but that's when this incident took place. But otherwise, if you drink with it, it causes extreme sickness, possibly death. When
you got booked in on 12/22, There was alcohol. Is that when you turned yourself in?
No, sir, there was no alcohol. This 12/22 of December.
Let's see here.
I wasn't even given a test of any kind, so I don't know where that came from. So
12/22, 3:30. They put question mark, question mark, question mark.
Can I comment on this?
Yes.
That's what we have to have something in that box when we book somebody in.
All right.
So unless we do a PBT test, we always put question mark.
So there was no PBT or?
No, not unless we are asked to do it by the arresting officer.
Okay. Thinks he might be headed to his brother's at Bentwaters or back to Lockport Liquor. Suspect was intoxicated during the incident in September. So did you stop taking the antabuse or you just powered through it in September?
no, because of the incident that I was having with my nerves in my foot, I was asked by my doctor to stop taking it.
Okay. So you had stopped taking it at this time?
Yes.
And did you start taking it again?
Yes. Yeah, I'm currently.
Was originally prescribed in 4/12/24, has been prescribed regularly since then, dated January 31st. I don't know what Miss Heflin's position is. This is at least the third assault on her, or the fourth, and an allegation that you took her car without permission. 1 day in jail. Turn yourself in. You don't get 9 bites at the apple. I'm gonna order 90 days in jail, credit 1. I am gonna see if we can make this on work release. Or you could do this from the probation center. And your bride could pick you up there and take you to work. I'm going to do a 12-month probation. Fine is 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, and a $480 probation oversight fee. No drugs, no alcohol, no assaultive behavior. If you took a test now, would the marijuana be in it?
No, sir.
All right. No contact with Pamela Heflin until further order of the court. She wants to see you. She can see me. Which means you're not going to go to jail right now. You're going to go down to the probation department. They're going to see if they can work out the details on the work release. So it may take a couple days to get this set up. No drugs, no alcohol, no assaultive or threatening behavior, no contact with Pamela Heflin. I've tried domestic violence classes in the past. After 9 times, I don't think I'm going to order that. But as Mr. George says, I guess the jail is always there. The problem here is I've used up all the jail. So let's make it 60 days, credit 1. I'll hang some jail over your head. This can't go on. Someone's gonna get seriously hurt or dead. All right, I want you to take this down to the probation department. They will see if we can make this work with a work release. And that way you get to keep your job, pay your child support. If Miss Heflin wants to have contact with you, she can see me and I can amend that condition. But for now, the situation is not good.
Well, that's it for today. That's Judge Middleton. Wow, powerful stuff. If you like the content that's on this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel and helping this channel grow. I really appreciate it. Well, that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Ta-ta, ciao, and have a good evening, everybody.
Come down to it all with your tools in hand, making magic flow. Every broken part, you help me grow. You fix it all, fix it all. You fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's right. When I'm falling apart, you put me back together. You make it better. From the wires tangled up to the broken dreams, you know how to mend all my scattered seams. With your steady hands, you refill my heart. Every piece that's lost gets a brand new start. You fix it all, fix it all. You fix it all. Daniel, you make it right. Daniel, everything's bright. When I'm falling apart, you put me back together. Daniel, you make it better. Make it right. When the world shuts down, and I can't see clear, you're my solid ground, always drawing near. Never give up on this heart of mine. Put it back together every single time. Fix it all, now I'm standing tall to all you do. From the highest peak, I can see it through. With your care and touch, everything's okay.